Welcome to the OVAReact podcast.
In a society that puts women in a box.
Let's overreact indeed. It's your girl Lash Angela.
And it's Momo Hoya. Welcome. If you're overreacting with us for the first time, welcome. This is where the amazing conversation happens. We know, sussing the vibes. Yes. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm thankful for being here.
On a scale of 1 to 10?
7.6.
7.6.
Please introduce yourself as well.
My name is Vinita Otieno Wanjohi. I like to think of myself as an architect of wellness and well-being.
Ooh, we are so excited. But also, not just Vinita, we have amazing guests that have come in our past episodes. So make sure that you go to Capital YouTube. You'll catch all the vibe, all the amazing stuff. And of course, on our website, which is www.sisterspeaksglobal.org. And also on our social media, which is Sister Speaks 254 OVAReact podcast, both on Instagram and also LinkedIn. We share some of good stuff there.
And we don't just stop at podcasting. We also stop. We continue with being part of the Fuse. Every last Wednesday of the month, you can join us in an OVAReact hour where we bring women conversations into the show. And we also listen to female music artists from across the globe. So tune in, connect with us beyond just the podcast. Let's get to know each other. As you listen to this episode, if something sparks your interest, if anything inspires you, we'd love to hear what you think. So let's get into it about today's conversation.
Yes, super excited to have you. Please tell us who you are and an interesting fact about yourself. Something you've never shared, or people will be like, oh,
I have the one.
You just told you guys. Drop it.
Well, I'll start off with something you don't know about me, which I just surprised these guys with. I'm actually a very shy person. It may not seem like it, but I am. Now, you've asked me to introduce myself.
Yes.
Where would you like me to start? Gosh, I'm so many things.
All those hats, we drop them.
All right. So my name, as I mentioned earlier, is Vinita Otieno Wanjohi, which is actually VOW. I'm passionate about all things wellness and well-being. This has been sparked over the last 26 years. So I can definitely say I discovered my purpose early. I'm the founder of VOW Wellness, and I'm the co-founder of Smart Gyms. And I am a mom of 4, and I am a friend, a sister, and a personal person.
You discovered early.
Yeah.
Because you discovered in your mother's womb.
Right.
You are 26.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
This is where everybody needs to be. My mother's womb. Yes. I am actually 26.
Yes.
Plus 20.
And she was 46. Doing all the kicking, doing the press up in there. Yeah. You came out with your calling.
I did. I think, I really, really think I did. And I believe each one of us are born on purpose with a purpose. It's just embedded in us. Ooh. And it's just a matter of fact and time that it will come out.
Born on purpose with a purpose.
We're not random. No one is random. We're not random.
Oh my God. I am so excited because I know where this is going. Yeah. But also off the mic, off camera, you asked me about VOW, but I had my own interpretation. Mm-hmm. I knew it was your initials, but also I want to think about the VOW in regards to, your health, owning your voice as a woman. And you've done that with your platforms, with your calling in business, and what you breathe and live. Right? Absolutely. So, and there are nuggets of you you've shared during your journey, which we're going to delve into, making a vow with your Heavenly Father, the greatest physician, and how you've
I'm the author.
Exactly.
Author.
Manifest that vow in every facet of your life, in business, in your fitness, wellness rather, and of course in your health. But before we get into that, Lash, go.
Yes.
Take it away.
So the reason also why we have Vinita as part of this conversation, as much as it's about also learning more about her journey, but we're really excited that because she's also part of our journey.
Yes.
So we have the Women and Health Fit Camp that's happening at the Junction Mall on the 5th of July from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So bring your sneakers. So typically we have Heels Connect. This time around we're having Sneakers
and
Connect.
I love that. That's a genius.
Yes,
that is genius.
Yeah. And so the purpose of the day was always about how do we bring conversation of health taking center stage. But beyond that, how do we also get our bodies moving? So it's a really interesting wellness festival in a sense, because you'll get to dance before the talks happen. You get to participate and listen to conversations where Vinita, Dr. Amanda Kenya, and Tatiana will be part of the conversation, moderated by Mo herself.
Yes.
We'll also have Motherhood Unplugged later. So all mums, we got you. You can be able to connect, unplug, share your experiences. There's also going to be a lady from Mama Mzazi who will be teaching parents on how they can also teach their kids as young as from dot to practice wellness as well.
Wow.
So it will be, it's going to, it's a very full health conversation. We have clinics as well. So we have Avenue Healthcare going to be there. We also have Iconic Dental Practice. So, and there's vendors, you can buy food. So the ticket is lower because you'll be able to buy food. You'll be able to shop at the Sisters Market and buy from wellness brands such as Harriet Botanicals. It literally is exactly what we say, women and health fit camp. So we're so excited that you agreed to be a part of it. I know that this is going to be, if you want to just get a hint of what to expect, this is the conversation to tune in. We've also shared an episode with Tatiana, so you'll also get a hint of what to expect with Motherhood Unplugged.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited.
I know. And I just,
too.
before we, give you the mic, I was just thinking about, what's happening there. Think of it as a wellness festival. And there's something you always say, wellness is a lifestyle, not a destination.
Absolutely.
And it's embedded on everything that you do. So
Absolutely.
take us through your journey and how you ended up at VOW and what you're going to bring.
For a long time, as I've mentioned, for 26 years now, I have been advocating for people to take responsibility of their fitness, their bodies, through movement, through exercise, through what you eat. It's just been a whole 360 journey. But I'd like to say over the last maybe 8 years, I became a bit more passionate about wellness. I realized there was a gap. With the fitness industry being what it is, it's very superficial. It's about how I look. Even for myself, no judgment, because I've done it. If I want to lose a quick 12 kgs, I know that I have to alter this food, move and that. But can I sustain it? And am I happy?
It's all about sustainability.
Absolutely. And with wellness, it's the one thing that you do and that you'll have that will always give back to you. It's almost like an investment fund. So instead of viewing your body and your exercises as a one-time stop or a short movement, I'll commit for 3 months and fall off, I realized, why don't you make it a lifestyle? So it's the small little habits and how you edit them that make it more doable.
Yeah.
If I, and alongside my long intro, I'm also a health and wellness coach. So I've started off, I've been a fitness trainer, evolved into a health and wellness coach. What's the difference? A trainer tells you what to do. So I am training you how to be. A coach motivates you and works with you to get there. So I dropped from being more mechanical, which I find that's what most trainers are. True. It's just like do. I don't tune in into how you should feel. And I realized instead I should coach you and encourage you, because I'm very mindful for how people talk to me and how I translate the message. And for me, there's a certain pattern to me understanding what I should do. Yeah. And most people are like that. So again, I evolved into a health and wellness coach. So I can definitely say having it as a lifestyle means how much time are you giving on your phone? That's also a wellness practice.
Yeah.
How are you sleeping?
Wow.
That's also a wellness practice.
Yeah.
Am I eating after I'm full? That's also a wellness practice.
Yeah.
So then you realize if you do those small things, actually what you're hoping to attain becomes more achievable, as opposed to punishing yourself repeatedly, losing weight, gaining it twice as much, losing weight, such a vicious, unnecessary cycle.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I say it's not a destination.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
And you have
A
to
destination, when you reach, you're done.
You're done.
Yeah, and
And when you're done, you reset and start from the beginning. So most people, you lose weight, you've achieved it, then you're like, now what's the next goal? There's none. So let me just eat, and then you get back into that cycle again. And it's really unfair to yourself to do that on your journey.
Love that.
Wow. And I was just going to add that, like most people set the goal of fit into a dress, the holiday.
Yes.
I want to lose 10 kgs. And then they, of course, work towards achieving that. And then years later, they've gone back. Worst case scenario, if you've done like surgery as well, and then you go back,
It's so normalized right now.
It is quick fixes, and that's it. That is, again, a gap that I saw, because everybody is more consumed about how you look, not how do you feel.
Yeah.
I have been in a position where I've been in my best shape and I felt horrible about how I am interacting, what I'm doing. I'm antisocial, and that was in my early 20s, because then I was chasing the caloric count.
Yes.
You know, I had abs, I looked phenomenal, but did I have the confidence I have now that I have?
No.
I didn't. I mean, I could appear that way, but I know deep down, if I was to sit honest with myself, there was something missing. And until I took charge of how I feel, where I'm going, and how I position myself.
Yes.
That's when things began to shift.
That's
I hope
such
I've
an
answered the
awakening.
question.
Yeah, it's amazing. You'll see, for example, I think there's something I watched, and someone was talking about med spas in the US, how they've become this kind of like scam, where you're told, you can get your B12 shots, you can get your IV drip for an instant glow. But, that's very quick fix, very temporary, because they say you are a reflection of what you put in your body.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to get an IV of Alibaba, nothing against that. I don't think it's more sustainable than someone who is very intentional with what they eat, and this fad of dieting and IF, intermittent fasting. It's such a quick fix, which I think it has been sold more and pushed more,
because it's easier. I mean, for people who and that people who perhaps have got genetic issues, and you've tried repeatedly to lose weight, and I'm not shaming them, so I understand why you'd get a gastric sleeve. But that doesn't apply to somebody who's been consistently having poor eating habits and has come into X amount of money. And you see, the one who's got the gastric sleeve actually has a medical problem. And you, on the other hand, has an eating problem. You have a problem. You can't control your lips. You can't control your mouth. That is the issue here. So a minute in your lips. Wow, it's true.
Hips, control that lip.
If you just control it. But instead, you opt and say, okay, well, if they got it and they've lost weight, I can get it. And then what hurts and what is sad is you're then influencing a whole society to then question, why do they have to work hard? Why do they have to opt to walk instead of driving? Why do they have to opt to actually tell themselves, I'm not going to eat those small choices? They're not easy.
Yeah.
But they become easier the more you do them.
Yeah.
But initially it's not easy, So it's just, like I say, it's insane. Yeah. You sell a quick fix, and for some it actually does serve the purpose because they're struggling with it. But what about 80% of the society who are not and just looking for shortcuts? It doesn't. So we have to change that narrative and normalize people taking wellness back into control and how they view it.
Yeah. I love that. Do you remember Janie? She was talking about food, your relationship with food.
Yes.
So she's actually a food relationship coach.
Yeah. I see how.
What's your because she lost so much weight and healed so many of her illnesses through changing and reframing her relationship with food, which is amazing.
Yeah. Food, abs are made in the kitchen. That fact
they
is true.
Are.
Yeah,
it should be on a t-shirt.
They are.
That's a real fact, and I know that for sure because a lot of my weight loss hasn't come from exercising. Actually, has come from changing what I eat, how I eat, and the frequency of that.
True.
So research tends to show that when women take control, which is what you're saying, ownership of your health, and everyone benefits. Work benefits, family benefits.
You benefit.
Even the individual benefits. What's been your experience since even starting with like VOW, because VOW is very intentional in how you connect with your client?
My experience with starting VOW, it was VOW Wellness. Now it's evolving into VOW Wellbeing.
Okay.
When I launched VOW Wellness, I wanted to build a community. A lot of people lack support, including myself. I was unwell for a period of time last year. But even before that, I think maybe 2 years before, I saw the gap. People would come to the gym, then they'd fall off. As much as you'd call them and tell them to come back, membership-wise, they were not interested because they lacked the support. If you are starting off in a journey, you know how women, we've got our chamas and all that.
Right.
You need a community of people who tell you outside of yourself that you can do it. We really do. You have your internal voice that will tell you can't, or you can, based on how you've trained it. So I saw that gap and I formed the community. And with the community, then I got to see people who had real problems learn to solve them. People were trying to lose weight. You lose the weight. Some are trying to add weight. You add weight. Your job improves and all that.
Yeah.
Now, along that way, I also noted that as much as they were then setting these goals and I was trying to make it into a lifestyle, it was still ending up to being a destination. So then, despite them losing weight, if you lose weight fast and you're feeling good about yourself, but you're not mentally ready to carry how you are and people's opinion of you, it does a reset for you. So then I started factoring in the well-being. So I like to think of myself as, like I said, I'm an architect of wellness and I continue to improve in my craft.
Right.
And aside from that, I am an idea service provider. So I help you craft not only a sustainable workout program. If you're a corporation, how are your employees acting? Why are they getting burnt out? All that. We do the work for you. And then I give you a sustainable program that will ensure your company to improve in productivity.
Wow.
So that's why it became well-being. What is your well-being? How is your well-being on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
She's asking.
For me, oh God. You know my journey. I know. I think since 2021, somewhere between 80 to 92. So I slack off, but I know for a fact that, being mindful of what I put in my body has reversed so much, including most of the PCOS symptoms that I had. If anyone doesn't know what is PCOS, is polycystic ovarian syndrome, something to do with your hormonal imbalance and, of course, markers that can either affect and alter your life 360, but you can, of course, manage your symptoms through a lifestyle audit and being very intentional about your life, because you can manage, but you cannot cure.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Absolutely. And I think, you spoke about research, and I think it's one of the areas that we need to see more research happening.
Especially for African women.
Exactly. And that's some of the
African
conversations
women are resilient,
we have.
people just expect you to get on.
Absolutely.
Move on with it.
Yeah.
And even there was an event I did for, their focus was on menopause, and something that they highlighted was the menopause fact is based on Euro and American centric. So based on white women. And so sometimes actually African women can start either younger, I think, than
Mine happened younger.
Yes. And so we base, when girls ask us, when will my period stop? The common thing is 50, 60, right? Because that's the theory. But that's why maybe we are seeing a lot more Africans having menopause or perimenopause at least journey starting in their 40s, while that might not be so much the case for Euro or American-centric women. So yes, research is really important to change that narrative, so that I base my theory based on somebody with similar genetics.
Absolutely. I want to say it's twofold. So our generation, we are getting perimenopausal at an early stage. But also, if you reflect back, there are so many older women that had children in their 40s and their 50s, but no one actually recorded or kept a record or data that can show actually African women, when they live that kind of a lifestyle or in this environment, they have prolonged fertility as opposed to their counterparts. So I was actually reflecting once we did the over circle conversation with Vero. I was thinking about their grandmoms that were having children later, but no one talks about that kind of.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
And even multiple children, like in the Euro-American centric world, it's very husband and wife, 2 kids, maximum 3. While the narrative is very different here. Like one woman our average must be higher. I don't know what the fact is, but the average must be higher.
Absolutely.
Talking about your T-shirt, tell us about your T-shirt and how the fact that it aligns with what you do, because you bring faith into vow, and which is why initially I was telling her off air is I actually thought vow was based on the fact that I know spiritually it's her focus. So I thought, it's a commitment to say I vow to focus on my wellness, just the same way you would vow to follow Christ and follow God and follow the principles of Jesus Christ. So I know for you, just as much as it's about well-being, it's also about spiritual well-being.
Absolutely.
How do you incorporate that? And do you find that clients maybe who don't believe in God might not choose you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that affect you?
That's a good question. Actually, you're not too far off, because my tagline is vow, make a commitment to you, which is actually a vow.
Yes.
That you do, but it's also a wordplay on my name.
Okay.
Now, my T-shirt says Godfidence. A lot of my confidence, my reason for being, stems, not a lot, all of it stems from God.
Yeah.
And the fact that I know whose I am.
Yes.
So I know whose I'm not. Yeah. So it helps me
Say that again.
It helps me make a lot of positive decisions. Now, you've asked me a very interesting question. If you're not a Christian or practicing Christian, would you choose me? I actually have clients from all walks of life, including, I'd say almost 40% are Asians.
Okay.
But they still have a deep belief in the spirit. And by the time you're done training with me, you end up saying, because I say see God a lot when you achieve your goals, and everything resonates and starts with God. So I feel like we are so deeply entwined. I don't know where I start and where God starts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, I'm a representation.
Yes.
I also believe, like I say, I'm born on purpose with a purpose. And I'm called to be of service according to God's plan. So it makes what I do much easier. Ministry is an interesting thing. I can talk about ministry. My ministry is wellness.
That's true. Everyone.
So my pulpit is in my wellness. Somebody else's pulpit may be in the church, but still in my pulpit and what I serve in my ministry of wellness, it is to remind you to build your temple, which is actually the body.
Yes, the body, which is the covering of your spirit, man.
Absolutely. And if your body stops,
God, I feel challenged.
It disconnects you from your spirit, and you cannot achieve what it is you are called to do. Which brings me to vow well-being. Who are you when you're honest and you take a spiritual audit of yourself? So for me, taking a spiritual audit of myself.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Whose are you? Where does your belief system stem from?
Okay.
My belief system stems from Adam and Eve. I'm created, made. So I have a confidence in that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you start and stop, including your physical well-being, because you don't know or understand who you are.
Yeah.
And how powerful you're called to be.
Yeah.
But breaking and building your body repeatedly prepares you for the bigger and bigger things that you're yet to build as you transition and continue.
That's deep.
So it's not just about exercise. That repeated habit does a lot more than everybody sees.
You have changed how I view my body. Like I should build it or frame it or shape it.
Yes.
Chiseled it to protect my spirit, man.
Absolutely. Always. Always. Because you have the dreams are downloaded in the spirit, but you can't achieve them if you have a weak body. You really can't. You can't.
And that's
so
why
they stay stuck. There's a divide. So to bring those two together, it requires you not looking at yourself just as my physical well-being, my abs. It's also what you're feeding your body, what you're hearing, what you're listening, what you're seeing. They all interconnect so that then your purpose is downloaded nicely into the spirit and it's made into fruition through your body.
So profound. And also, the Bible says that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I love the way you, laid down for us, the spiritual realm and how dreams manifest. And I think it's a call to all of us to invest in our bodies. And, as a wellness coach, at the workplace level, there's actually a conversation we had with another guest that was talking about how women's health, particularly menopause, affect productivity. So menopause, you will find more women. Either they are the corporate leader, that's where they are, at top, peak. So I think it's a call to all policymakers, the private sector, to invest in wellness. So tell us about, how you're removing social, cultural, and economic barriers at a personal level and also within the corporate space, and how you foresee policies changing around workplace and how that can impact productivity and impact.
Okay, so we've done, I have 2 case studies. One was a corporate wellness redesign. We partnered with a company that had around 250 employees. You sit down, you do the work, interview them, put them through different programs to see where they're at. And then you build on a plan, share it with the company to implement. And the results, we had 18% reduction, reported stress and anxiety within 7 months.
Okay.
It took a bit of time because people are resistant to change and do things in a different manner. And it called for a lot of trust. Then 12% increase in self-reported job satisfaction. So these policies really need to be put in place. A lot of times, like you've mentioned, menopause. Going through menopause in a workplace that does not support corporate wellness is a nightmare. Because everything you'll say as a woman will come off being emotional. Yes, you can be emotional, but you can also be emotional and functional.
Right.
Just because you're emotional, because that is a woman. A woman is multifaceted.
Right.
Just because I'm being emotional, she can be emotional, but she's still doing her work. And it's really wrong to then get discredited because the company has not learned how to address and implement those kind of changes. So talking on policies, for instance, in this one, we had to take it really serious. A lot of people, they have a wellness budget, but they're content with using the wellness budget perhaps for people going to the gym. But it goes beyond that. Are you tracking them? How is their well-being? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are they? So certain changes. We have people going into the workplace doing breathing exercises. We have breaks that have now been put into place. If you have menopause or you're experiencing perimenopause, what does that look like for you? You can talk to HR. There's a program redesigned for that. So it has seen people want to feel heard. Actually, both men and women. All of us want to feel heard at the bottom line. And when that takes place and such policies are implemented in the companies, of course, it will lead to better deliverance.
Wow, that's so profound. And I think I have a follow-up question to that. I know there are so many good organizations, multinationals, who have like the most attractive package. They have your, mentor, your insurance cover. There's also have the wellness, which is membership at a club or a gym. I just want to see or to hear from you. So these are big companies. Are you seeing more smaller companies investing in those beside the team building that we always see? The activities where
we
the standard.
The one where then you carry a ball with a spoon. And
Oh my God.
Team building. Our team buildings for our well-being are better than that. But anywho, there needs to be a lot. We're now seeing smaller SMEs coming in with perhaps your employee of 50, groups of 50. But you have seen you're trying to scale up. It's difficult to scale up if you do not put into line the ground basics for what scaling up looks like. So a lot of them are calling in when they're building that structure. You call us in to help you craft different policies. So we have had, especially this year, a lot more reaching out.
That's beautiful.
Thanks to LinkedIn, which I recently became more active this year. But I feel like there's a big shift compared to when I was on the other side of just the physical. People are becoming more aware. And I'm happy we're having more honest conversations regarding mental health. Because as an African, mental health was always hush-hush. It's just that you're having a bad day. It cannot be that you're chemically imbalanced. It is just that you're having a bad day and either go eat, sleep, wake up brand new and carry it. So it's good to see that as a result of the mental health getting a bigger audience and people listening in, that now they're going a bit different and saying, okay, what can we do and set in place to prepare us not to reach to the mental health breakdown and instead do a mental well-being, mental wellness and different check-ins. So some of these companies are really, really, they're checking in weekly. You can check in through online. They're providing platforms where you can do online speaking, 15 minutes. You just teach different things. They're appointing wellness advocates in the workplace.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful.
So change is happening.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
advocates and allies, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you one last question before Lash comes in. During COVID, the West, especially Europe, I know a friend who took like a burnout leave. Not even 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Are we close to that?
No.
Tell us why.
I'll tell you for sure. Because again, unfortunately, Africa, specifically Kenya, has taken a bit of time to catch up to that. It's not been normal to share your feelings in the workplace. When you share your feelings, it's basically like saying you're preparing to be demoted. One. Ooh. Secondly, if you look at, let's just use COVID again as an example. A lot of people were fired through text. There was no support offered mentally to see where you're at. And that has not changed.
That's crazy.
Even being unwell, I was unwell last year, going on a sabbatical leave. Not everybody can do that. You'll go on a sabbatical leave and the Kenyan, for some reason, for so long, don't like weakness. They view any problem that does not lead to you being strong and slaving at work as a weakness, forgetting that if you curate that little bits of breaks of rest, giving that burnout, somebody comes out better. In fact, it will be like you're moonlighting and taking another job. Yeah. So this is, again, these are the kind of conversations we need to encourage and happen openly. When I opted over now I've done corporate wellness speaking. Actually, I've done it for 4 years, but I did it more actively for the last 6 months. And corporate well-being and setting up retreats and stuff is when then I had an opportunity. You sit in those meetings, even when you're pitching, and somebody's like, but Vinita, what do you mean? What is a well-being? Why do we have to create a budget? They can play football. They can do that. And I say we have to tap into their mind. Are you playing football from a point where you're 200% burnt out already, but you're just functioning in motion? Which is not leading to productivity. As a company, you're already losing 10 to 15 or 20% of talent. So we are not close, but having this conversation, we are very far. Let me be honest with you. But having these conversations happening, it starts by talking, it starts by moving, it starts by showing, and perhaps in the next 2 years, we may be there. And the generation after me are more aggressive about it and their peace of mind. So that is leading to change.
Thank you for creating that picture.
I think it helps that we live in a country that we also have access to sun.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Sun helps a lot.
Yeah.
And we have, and a lot, to be honest, not many people have a car, even though we have traffic issues. So a lot more people actually are walking, a lot more than we can perceive. Of course, we'll base it on the people we know. But if you think about it, a lot of people use public transport. And to get to that public transport, there's a lot of walking involved. So I think all those things in terms of, because in terms of if you have a business in your 100 employees, you probably say like 70% of them are using public transport. And that is not a taxi, but an actual physical
movement.
That is good. But then again, you factor in, if we look at the physical, it is good. But look at the mental. I leave work at 5. I'm in traffic for 3 hours. So yes, I'm walking, but I'm stuck in. And my office does not provide that avenue for me to be okay. Comfort. So I'm just frustrated with my thoughts for 3 hours before I reach home. And find that. So again, that's
the balance.
The balance. Just finding. Because again, that is a good thing. It is. It's a good, and probably that's why we're a lot of functional workaholics. Functioning. But it doesn't mean that we are okay.
I say that in Kenya, that a lot of people are functioning alcoholics.
They are. You look at them, they're talking to you, but they're not there.
Wow, loving this conversation. And you are not here without a few bumps, a few mishaps around your health. To the extent you want to share, I would like to hear about your journey, how you've called in back health into your life, and just speak to someone who's probably going through that at the moment.
Wow, where do I begin? So, somebody asked me recently, why do I wake up at 3 a.m.? why am I bent on repeating that Speak Life, which thankful you guys brought up last year. But what is the drive behind my well-being and being here? So 2024 was a bit of a journey for me. I started off fantastically, but 3 months into it, I found myself in HDU, which is high dependency unit. I had 2 brain bleeds. I learned to walk and talk. And all this took place in a span of 6 to 8 weeks. Was I scared? No. I know. I wish I could say that I was. I wasn't. Because like I keep telling you, called to be of service according to God's plan. So again, my author remains there. Erase, rub, rewrite. But I knew that I'm here for a reason. But where did wellness factor into my recovery? Now picture this. I was then 44 years old. I'm 46 now. So 44 years old, exercising, moving. I have 4 children. I was running a thriving business. Basically waking up and keeping every bit of my minute crammed with what needs to get done. 24 hours, I was possibly working, I'd say 20 hours of that time. But wellness came in big into my recovery. Mm-hmm. In most cases, I was diagnosed with lupus and most recently fibromyalgia, which are both chronic diseases. And I came to see and find chronic illnesses usually target type A women. I'm one, which are women basically who actually really, really push. You give me work, I don't do work 50%. I'll give you 200% plus for next year. And not because you're forcing me, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
I have to live everything better than I've ever imagined, but well-being factored in because I had a basis to fall in. So despite my journey, despite being told that maybe you'll not make it, I had 1 platelet, minimum is 150,000. I still drove myself to hospital, type A personality. I still rearranged my bedroom in the hospital according to my getting out of there. But well-being factored in because I still had a little bit of energy reserve. Was it to my advantage? In most cases, I think it was to my detriment because at 1 platelet, that's why I was able to drive. That is how you can collapse and die. Wow. If I was not, or perhaps somebody else, was not actively living my truth, participating in the building blocks for my body and my wellness, I'd not be standing here. Mm-hmm. A lot of people wake up in the morning, do everything, and then drop dead in the bus stop just before you step into the matatu. And you'll be surprised to discover that could also be a chronic illness. Oh, yeah. Because chronic illnesses you do not wear it on your face.
Yes, it doesn't show.
It definitely, you do not look like your problems.
No.
Yeah. So people come seeing you and they're like, but this is the patient only because you don't look like you're suffering and you're dying. It is internal. Yeah. And it is the unseen disease that is killing a lot of women.
Yeah. Black women.
Black women.
Black
women. What? Let me give you the crowns. You don't need to stop working for your crowns. I've given you all of them for free. Yeah. We work ourselves to an early grave, but we don't see it. Only those left behind recognize it and speak on it. So it means well-being stemmed from me taking stock and being very honest and raw with myself. What will happen if I stop doing what I was doing? By the way, I thought the world would stop. It didn't. The sun rose and it set.
Right.
My kids ate, moved, visited me, told me bye. Everything I was working so hard to hold on and pouring myself into still moved on without me. And it made me see in clarity that as much as I'd made this all that I was called to be, I'm bigger and I'm called to be bigger than that. So then began my vocation to speak up and encourage people to marry it in and find a work-life balance that works for you. And this does not mean there'll always be a balance. But if it is 80-40, if it is 60-40, that is balance. Don't worry about the 10%. Mm-hmm. In most cases, it is 10 to 90. 90% is work. You're not worried. Your mental strength, your well-being is at 10%. Mm-hmm. And yet you're ticking in saying that everything that you need to get done is getting done. But what happens to you when you stop?
Yeah.
Oh
so that's been my journey with the chronic illnesses. Aside from that, of course, I have been very public because I have 4 children. I've had 5 miscarriages. And again, somebody asked me, what made you not stop trying? But for me, it was a no-brainer. Again, I'm a believer. So my children are in heaven. I'd say I have 9 children plus 1. So what made me keep trying is that I deeply believe this is a vessel for everything that I have and I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And even carrying a baby to term. Of course, later I found out I didn't have enough progesterone. I got a good doctor who put me on progesterone that helped my pregnancies hold on and not miscarry. Of course, with the fourth, I didn't choose progesterone because she was just meant to stick. But so again, learn your body, learn what's working for you. Question, why am I not feeling well? Question, how can I get better?
Yeah.
You have it in your power to build on your well-being and your wellness.
Beautiful. I'm just listening to you and I'm thinking, a world that wants us to spread ourselves thin as women. This label, strong African women, I think that's the digging of grave that culminates to chronic illnesses rather, because research-wise, it says that chronic illnesses affect more Black women.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I think what, with the journey I mentioned about PCOS, it comes with inflammation. And I was reading about, what really triggers inflammation. That's something unspoken, the shrinking.
Yes, because we are taught not to share.
Exactly,
share
perfection.
Yes,
people pleasing. I don't feel like going anywhere this morning, but also I have to
show up
for others.
Yes,
and that's what a strong African woman is all about.
Or used to be about.
We are changing that. Absolutely.
That, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
What's your, as we even just dive into a little bit of hint of what people can expect for the Women and Health Fit Camp, is looking ahead through your 26 years of being in the space of fitness, women's health in general. What's the vision that you have for VOW? What's the vision you have for Kenya in totality or the continent and beyond?
The vision I have for VOW, I want VOW to be taught in schools as part of curriculum.
Love that.
I'm happy that for my schooling, of course, we had PE. But I teach my children to be mindful of how they're feeling. I want them to be in tune and to know that it's okay not to feel okay and to learn to verbalize it. And I want to teach that in school so that you learn that speaking up doesn't make you weak. It actually does make you strong.
Yeah.
What vision do I have for VOW in the continent? I like that because VOW is going global. VOW is a calling for women to take back their truth. You are more than your pain. We are anchored and we are naturals, but our story doesn't end with that. It's a reminder that to live an intentional life will require you to take stock of who exactly you are. And most people, that makes them uncomfortable. So I see it becoming a global movement through the community as we align into creating it into every other aspect.
I love that. So it's great that you're going to be a panel speaker.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
We're so glad.
Such an honor.
So the conversation will really be touching on all elements about health, but also from a woman's angle, right? Because, and hormones, health, nutrition, right? Fitness and wellness, that you've talked about how, despite how fit you are, you still have found yourself to have chronic illnesses.
Absolutely.
So, yes, and to touch on that, because I think I have a relative who is a lupus warrior. And
oh, wow.
So I do understand the A-type mentality. Very fit, eats really well. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So I understand that, and I think women sometimes maybe don't understand, and that's probably because we live in our phones, we live in the TV, and it tells us, how many times you go on YouTube and there's an ad telling you what to eat. That wall sit, 28 day
oh
wall
my God, you
sit.
get that too. I was like, I stopped listening to my conversations.
Right? Do this, work up for 7 minutes, and I'm gonna look like that.
You shouldn't eat bread, and I'm like, oh my God.
Gluten this, dairy this. Oh my God, it's annoying. But it's good to listen to our body.
Exactly. And so I wanted to. Because the part of the conversation will be about real talk, right? And we'll be painting that real conversation. What elements or what parts of your journey do you want people to learn from and like what can people expect in the conversation, because we'll have a medical expert, so we'll have a doctor, we'll have Tatiana, who's also been very vocal about her own journey. She posted a video a few days ago.
Yeah.
Was being very open about how like it has affected her mental health. She's a single mom, so also that comes with its challenges. Just let's give a teaser of what.
I think for me, what people can expect is I would like to share with you what I wish somebody shared with me. Just because I was striving, I did it. Looking back, I feel like I did it all wrong, in the sense that I had my goals. And because I'm type A, of course, I take those quite early and I achieved them. But I wish somebody told me that it was okay not to be okay and to be verbal that you're not okay. Because my not okay, I'm conditioned. I operate on a high level and doing that. So it would be me telling you that I am not asking you not to go after your dreams. I am equipping you on how to reach there better and whole, and without accepting or accessing any illness that is not yours. Because I like to say lupus is not mine. It is a very small fraction of who I am, but it does not define me. And it is to teach you that, and yes, if you already have a chronic illness, because we are labeled that it's a forever illness and you shouldn't do much, I am still doing much, I'm still exercising. I went on to compete in bodybuilding and I placed second.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean your life stops. It just means that we are getting a new way to process your life. And lastly, come and let's just have an honest conversation on what is plaguing us as women and what you feel that you can't even share with somebody in public because you are embarrassed or you're holding it in. And let's just talk, because we'll all be vulnerable. I look forward to having honest conversations.
Thank you.
So just wanted to say about, there are women who came before, the likes of Lorna Irungo. She openly rather shared her journey, and just recently I saw a Gen Z. She's been, thriving, that's the word she used, thriving with autoimmune diseases, and other influencers and other public faces that we are seeing speaking more and more. And I think also like Mr. Beast is like one of the biggest YouTubers, and he talks openly about his journey. If you were to have one or implement one policy or community initiative in Kenya that will elevate and change women's health, what would that be beside the vow?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd copy it from Rwanda. Rwanda has a day in the week where they just exercise.
That's why they're like
running tracks.
Yeah, I feel like that would really help us as a nation. Because a lot of times when you talk to someone, you're trying to involve them into getting into a wellness habit of any form, whether it's food, exercise, they're resistant. And they all say the same thing: I don't have enough time. Yet we all get 24 hours. So perhaps if we block it off, it can be an afternoon. Like how they do the NGOs, you work until noon, and just give people a bit more than being okay giving them a Saturday. So that is one initiative. If it was in my power and I was in the Ministry of Sports, when I am in the Ministry of Sports,
Amen to
for
that.
sure, it would be that we need to, Friday noon, just stop everything and just breathe. Because that will help reset a lot of health problems. And that will help at the same time increase our, I don't want to say our dollar count, but it would make people more mindful in how they show up on Monday.
Amazing.
Child.
Wow.
Okay.
So maybe the next tree planting should be more walking.
Yeah.
Because the tree planting, people just add it as a extra holiday to drink.
Yeah.
It needs to be very mindful. No.
You have spoken the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what
it is the city we live in.
Yeah, we do. So, but you see, if you just put it at noon, I'm already gone and done some work.
And then
it's part of the day.
Yeah.
But you know that it's an afternoon. And yes, you can start a long weekend, but no, most people would then take that time.
Actually, that's a great way. We are renowned as a running country. Why don't we having running day? A running day.
Can you imagine?
Show the world that Kenyans can run.
Yes. It's true. There's as before I ask you your quick fire side, I just wanted to say there's a movie Melissa McCarthy is in, and it's about identity thief. Yeah. And this guy discovers she discovers that she's a thief, and so he runs off, and then she says, "Are you Kenyan or something?" Because he knows running.
Run like a Kenyan.
Yeah. Cognizant of the time, I want to end with a quick fireside chat questions, and then you can end with like a parting shot. So one simple wellness habit you swear by and never skip.
Bible study.
Okay.
Feeds my spirit, then it feeds everybody around me.
Exactly.
Oh,
At
I love
like
that.
3 a.m. I love it.
That's my wellness habit.
I love that. Favorite stress buster after a long day?
Listening to music.
Ooh.
Love it.
Any particular artist that you're into right now?
Maverick City Worship.
Okay.
Just random. Alexa does the work. I just tell her play Maverick City Worship.
What's the last one? What's the most healing food you always have on your plate?
Gosh, that I'd have to think. I'd like to say sweet potato.
Okay.
Why do I feel like
And
it's
veggies.
broccoli?
Yeah, spinach.
Okay.
Spinach, sweet potatoes. I'm big on veggies. Let's say spinach.
Okay. I just thought of something because you will end it with a verse. What's the verse that you go to spiritually fuel your mindset, your body? What's your verse?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
For those who are not Christians, what
Philippians
verse?
4:13.
What's about you? What's yours?
Mine is not necessarily about filling my spirit, but just reminding me who my author is. And so mine is always Isaiah 41:10 and 13. You know, just that reminder that he's holding my righteous right hand, to be strong, to be courageous, to be a valiant warrior, which a valiant warrior means a boldness possessing warrior.
Mine is right here is my screensaver. Psalms 46, God is within her, she'll not fail, God will help her at break of day.
Hey,
God.
look at that.
Yes, it's always here. Yeah, interchange it with my vision board.
I love it. We've had such a wellness conversation, a spiritually filled conversation. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have learned something new. We'd love to know, what's your verse? What's the verse that fills your cup when you need your cup to be filled? And we hope to see you there. Just to reiterate, the event is taking place July 5th at Junction Mall from 10 a.m. There'll be a dancing festivity to begin the day. Then there'll be a health talk with Dr. Amanda Kenya, Vinita Otieno, who's here, and Tatiana, Mama Olive, and Mo, who will be also moderating the conversation. And it will be very similar to what we've had here, Real Talk. You've watched the episode of Tatiana, and I'm sure now you've watched this. And we'll be also having Dr. Amanda, who you'll start to get a feel of what kind of Real Talk conversations. We're dropping the shame, we're dropping the barriers, and we're making it
dropping
real.
the mask.
Yeah, and dropping the mask and being completely real. So grab your tickets via Vabu app, follow at Sister Speaks 254 and at OVAReact podcast to continue watching aspects of this conversation and even previous episodes. Yeah.
We don't leave without asking our guests to let our listeners how to connect with you and how they can actually sign up for your programs.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram under Vinita Otieno. I'm also on as Vow Wellness. You can also find me on LinkedIn under my names, Vinita Otieno Wanjohi.
Fantastic.
Join the community, make a commitment to you and for you.
Awesome. See you there. And remember, you're not your autoimmune disease. That's a fraction, as she said.
Yeah, very small part. Very, very small. It's not your identity.
It's not your identity.
It's just part of who you are.
Yeah, as we wrap up, we always invite our guests to overreact with us. When I say ladies, you'll say, let's overreact. You know, you can overreact all you want. So you can tune into this and more. You can catch previous episodes and this one. It's going to be uploaded on our website, which is www.sisterspeaksglobal.org, and also at Capital YouTube and any other podcast platform at Sister Speaks Global. And you can be able to see past episodes and listen to this one. And of course, follow us on our socials, which is Sister Speaks 254 at OVAReact Podcast on Instagram. And also you can find us on X and LinkedIn, and let's connect there. So ladies, I'm going to invite you. So ladies, let's overreact.